In the previous video, we've taken a look at target market and target marketing and the rationale behind this concept of target marketing, that each one of us is different and therefore marketers need to recognize these individual differences and differences among groups of people and cater to their needs and requirements accordingly. So in this video, I, Dr. Mariam Narona, will be explaining how this can be done. How do you carry out market segmentation? How do you create that target market for your company? Now, market segmentation is the process for dividing a large heterogeneous market into small homogeneous sections based on certain shared or common characteristics. So, to put this very simply, let us consider a few examples. When you look at purchasing a car, today you have the option of manual, automatic, and you also have the option to go for an electric vehicle. And then we hear of companies like Google and Tesla who are testing out cars which are driverless cars. Then again, in the same market segment, we have currently the driverless cars are a thing of the future. They've not yet come into the market. But in the same market, we have the Uber, Olas operating. So we have the regular black cabs or taxis operating. Now, the difference is that when you're buying a car, you become the owner, but it doesn't stop you from, when you own a car, from hiring an Uber or Ola, where supposing you're going to the airport and you have nobody to drive you, or your entire family is going and there's no parking spots available at the airport. This is in India we're talking about. So in that case, somebody who is a car owner is also a possible customer for a taxi or a cab aggregator like Uber or Ola. Why? Because our needs are different at different points of time. So again, if you look at, say, an Uber, Ola, you'll find that you have different options available. Like you can hire a small car, you can hire a sedan, an SUV, or you can share a ride. And there you have it. There you have it, how a company has segregated a market into different segments based on certain criteria, which could be preference for moving about, where I might be traveling with my family and my family is big and I might choose an SUV. Or I might be somebody who needs to hire a ride to work, but I don't want to pay a big amount. There I might do a share a ride. So market segmentation is nothing but identifying different needs, requirements, expectations of people and putting them into smaller groups so that you are better able to devise a product or service offering which will cater to the distinct needs and requirements of those segments or that particular segment. How will you carry out market segmentation? So, firstly, market segmentation is not an option any longer. You have to segment the market. So, how do you go about doing that? You identify your target market. Like I've mentioned this in my previous video. So, who's the target market for, say, a Shaadi.com? Who's the target market for a secondshadi.com? Who is the target market for an elitematrimony.com? Who is the target market for a Tinder or, say, a Bumble? You identify your target market. Accordingly, you will be able to identify the expectations of the target market. So, for instance, if you're talking about halal baby food, you're going to look at mothers who are looking for halal baby food. This I've seen in the US and Canada, where people have launched such ventures. Why? Because it is that section of people who subscribe to that particular school of thought, or who are looking for halal food, might be smaller and it is not found everywhere. So you identify what are the expectations of your target market, and then you would be able to cater to their needs and requirements. Or you take the case of cosmetics for, say, Asians. In Asians, if you take Southeast Asia, the skin color, skin tone, skin type, features, all this is very different of people. When you look at our own part of Asia, you will find that the again skin tones and all are different. If you look at another part of the world, if you look at Europe, if you look at Africa, you cannot expect that women in all these countries would like a particular shade of lipstick, because that is something which is very personal, and also whether it suits your skin tone or not, that comes into question. So you identify what are the needs and expectations of your target market, and you create subgroups. This is what I said, like Uber and Ola have been able to create subgroups and have devised an offering for each of these subgroups. You review the needs of your target audience. So that is why if you look at, say, Amazon, which started selling books online, they moved to the Kindle, then they moved to audiobooks. Why? Because the needs of the target audience changed over a period of time. Also, they realized that not everybody has the space or time or wants to hold a book and read, and so let's make the books audiobooks that people will listen to on the move. So it's not like as if hard copies of books have gone off the shelves, but when you review the needs of your target audience, you'll keep changing your offering and you'll be able to serve them better. So if you look at the earliest mobile phones, and look at today, a mobile phone can do almost everything that your laptop or computer can do. All this happens only when you review the needs of your target audience. You study their behavior. What is the behavior that my target audience is displaying? So there might be a whole lot of people coming back to books who like to read but might not have the time to read, and so if I simplify it for them, I turn it into an audio book and a service like Audible, which helps them to subscribe and get those books at a lower price, because audiobooks are expensive to create. Then I would have studied the behavior, that there might be people who spend a lot of time driving and commuting to work, or even at work, and they cannot carry a bunch of books with them. They cannot sit and read with the book in the hand, and so I study their behavior and I'm able to devise a product accordingly. Or you see your artificial assistants, like we have Alexa, Siri. How were these developed? Because their makers studied the behavior of people who could be potential customers for them. You devise products or services that people need. So for example, if you look at the Apple Watch, it is a very useful gadget for senior citizens, because it can render help or assistance to you by just detecting your movements, or a break in your movements. So you devise products and services which are needed by people. So when the iPod came out, it revolutionized the music industry, because it created this whole new market it was just waiting there to be discovered, but nobody thought about it, and then a company thought about it. So you devise products and services which people need. So if you look at online furniture companies, they might allow you to rent out furniture. Why? Because buying might not be an option for you if you are in a transferable job. So you create such products or services which people need. Or you take the case of Swiggy, which is a restaurant aggregator in India, and they developed this offering called the Swiggy Genie during lockdown, which helped you to order things from a store and the person from Swiggy will get it for you, or to ship items from your house to a friend's house in the same city. Now, how did this help? Swiggy was a restaurant aggregator. It is still, and their forte was not courier service, but they devised that depending upon, it was like humanizing their brand at that point of time. Then chalk out plans and strategies accordingly. So if you take the case of Netflix, they did something revolutionary. They discontinued all inactive accounts. They stopped charging people for it, because they felt that in this time, during this situation, in the pandemic, many people have lost their jobs, and they don't want to make people continue paying for a service which they are not using. So it's again a move to humanize your brand, and also you come across as a very sensitive brand then. So it might look like, this doesn't make commercial sense, but it makes business sense if you want to remain and you want to have affinity with your customers, and you promote a product or service according to the needs and requirements, or the media consumption habits and patterns of your target market. So that's why it makes sense for a jeweler who is based in Pune city to have a hoarding which is in Pune city, or to advertise on a bus or some public transportation in the city. Why? Because his clientele is mainly going to be where he is located, and he might not be wanting to invest in a website. But if you take the case of a company like Tanishq, they will invest in dedicated retail stores, they will invest in, say, a website, they will probably have hoardings and full page newspaper advertisements in a national daily, which a local jeweler might not have. Why? Because his target market is very different. So these are the different steps that you need to take when you are segmenting the market. So thank you for watching. Next up, the next video is on types of segmentation, and in that we'll be taking a look at how different companies segment the market based on different criteria. Please don't forget to hit the like button if you like the content in this video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. There's lots of educational content available for students of commerce and management, and even students of class 12 CBSE business studies. There's a lot of content available here, so please don't forget to subscribe, and do leave your comments and feedback. Thank you.